On a cold morning in the Swiss Alps, a man stood at the edge of the world. He had traveled far, he had achieved much, and yet, something inside him remained unfinished. Not broken, just empty. They say happiness is something you find. So he kept walking, through villages, through cities, through time, always believing it was somewhere ahead of him. In the city, everything moved fast. People rushed, cars rushed, time rushed, but inside him, everything stood still. And for the first time, he began to wonder if he was the only one who felt this way. He had everything people call success, a beautiful view, a quiet apartment, a life others admired. But at night, silence became louder than the city. He worked harder, he stayed later, he pushed further because he believed if he could just go a little farther, he would finally feel alive. But that moment never came. Then winter arrived, and everything stopped, even his car, stranded in the middle of nowhere, with nothing but snow and silence. He walked through the storm, step by step, not knowing where he was going, only knowing he couldn't stay where he was. In the mountains, he found a small wooden house, and inside it, an old man who seemed strangely at peace, not because life was easy, but because he was. That night, by the fire, the old man said something that changed everything. He said, "I stopped searching for happiness a long time ago, and that was when I finally found it." At sunrise, something inside Adrian shifted. Not the world, not the mountains, but the way he was seeing them. And for the first time in years, he was not running. He was simply present. He arrived in Paris, the city where dreams are supposed to feel alive. But instead of clarity, he felt even more lost, as if beauty alone was no longer enough to fill the silence inside him. The city moved quickly. People laughed. People loved. People lived. But he felt like a shadow walking through someone else's story, present, but not connected. He tried to sit still, to drink coffee, to observe life passing by. But even in the middle of everything, he felt completely outside of it, as if he was watching life instead of living it. So he moved again, because movement feels like progress, and progress feels like hope. But deep down, he no longer knew what he was hoping for. On the train, he looked at his reflection, not the world outside, but himself. And for the first time, he didn't recognize the person looking back. London greeted him with light and silence disguised as noise. Everything felt important, yet nothing felt meaningful. He stood in front of glass buildings that reflected a life he thought he wanted. But the reflection didn't feel like success anymore. It felt like distance from everything, including himself, even in luxury, even surrounded by comfort. Something was missing, not outside, but within. A space no achievement could fill. That night, it rained heavily, and for the first time in a long time, he didn't try to escape it. He simply walked through it, as if finally accepting something he had avoided for years. And then, he stopped, under a single streetlight, in a city that never sleeps. And for a brief moment, he didn't think about tomorrow or yesterday, only the rain, and the fact that he was still here, breathing. He thought the journey had ended, but life had simply brought him to a place where everything stopped. No noise, no distraction, no direction, only silence and snow. So he walked. Not because he knew where to go, but because standing still hurt more than moving forward. Every step felt like a question he couldn't answer. And then he saw it. A small cabin in the distance, warm light in the middle of endless cold, as if something or someone was waiting for him. Inside, an old man sat by the fire. calm. Not in the way people pretend to be calm, but in the way someone is when they no longer need anything from the world. The fire cracked softly, and in that sound, there was something Adrian hadn't felt in a long time. Stillness, not emptiness, but peace. They didn't speak at first, because some moments don't need words, only presence. And for the first time in years, Adrian wasn't trying to become anything. He was just there. Then the old man spoke, not loudly, not wisely, just simply, as if stating something obvious the world had forgotten. And Adrian listened, really listened. Something inside Adrian began to soften, not because life became easier, but because he stopped resisting it. For the first time, he wasn't fighting his own thoughts. That night, he stood outside alone. The cold no longer felt like punishment. It felt honest, like the world had stopped pretending. And when the sun rose, something inside him shifted, not the mountains, not the sky, but the way he saw them. And for the first time, he wasn't searching ahead. He was simply here. The morning was quiet, but inside the cabin, something was beginning to change, not in the world outside, but in the way silence felt. The old man spoke again, and this time, his words felt heavier than silence, not because they were complex, but because they were true. Adrian tried to listen carefully, but something strange was happening. It felt like the words weren't going into his mind. They were going deeper, into something he had ignored for years. And then he remembered. A time before he started chasing everything, before he became someone else, when life didn't feel like a race, but like simply being alive. But the more he remembered, the more it hurt, because he realized something painful, that nothing outside him had ever been missing. Only his attention had been elsewhere. He saw it clearly now. All the years of running, all the cities, all the goals, all the next steps. It wasn't a journey forward. It was a circle, without end. And suddenly, it became too much. Not sadness, not anger, but recognition. The kind that breaks something open inside you. The old man didn't stop him. He didn't fix him. He didn't guide him. He simply remained there, as if saying, "You don't need to become anything else." So Adrian stepped outside, into the cold air. But for the first time, the cold didn't feel like rejection. It felt like clarity. And as the sun rose over the mountains, something inside him finally stopped running. Not his body, not his life, but his mind. For the first time in years, he was here, completely. For the first time in a long time, he didn't try to understand anything. He didn't try to fix anything. He simply breathed. And in that breath, something inside him finally softened. A tear fell, not because he was broken, but because he was finally not fighting himself anymore. And strangely, it felt like peace. It was as if something invisible broke inside him, not pain, but illusion. The illusion that happiness was somewhere else, far away, waiting. So he walked, not to escape, not to arrive, but simply because walking felt like life again. Each step no longer carried pressure, only presence. The world he returned to saw was the same, but somehow everything felt different. Not because the world had changed, but because he had stopped resisting it. He sat down, and for the first time, he didn't need to become anyone. He didn't need to achieve anything. He didn't need to prove anything. He was already here, all the versions of him. The chasing, the running, the searching began to fade. Not as failure, but as a story he no longer needed to live inside. And suddenly, everything felt connected. The sky, the wind, the silence, even himself, not separate, not lost, just part of it all. He stood once more at the place where everything began. But now, There was no question left, no search, only understanding that nothing was ever missing. And maybe this is what we all forget. We search so far for something that has never left us, because happiness was never waiting at the end of the journey. It was always here, in this moment, in this breath, in you. If this story meant something to you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.